How much work does it actually take to buy an online business? Hi, I'm Jaryd Krause, host of the Buying Online Businesses podcast, and today I'm talking with William, who is a Buying Online Business member who decided to do some one-on-one coaching with me to buy his first website. He's an hilarious guy. He's from South Carolina. He's the youngest of 5 boys, and what a wild household that would have been. Now, this is a super fun episode with William, as he is a stand-up comedian. He enjoys theatre and sketch, but this is too inspirational to not share, and there are so many takeaways for first-time website buyers. In this podcast episode, William and I specifically break down how and where William got his drive to buy a website and make an income online versus all the other things that he tried and failed over the last decade of trying to make an income stream. We also talk about what it actually takes to buy a website, like how long it took him to buy the website, the type of website William bought, why he chose this type of website versus many of the other types of online business that you could purchase. We talk about the risks and the growth strategy and all that sort of stuff. We also talk about what were the hard parts of the journey that he encountered that you should be preparing for as a first-time buyer as well. Now, William talks about a few of his friends that have already asked him how he did it, how he bought his first online business. And I asked William, what advice would he share with his friends as first-time buyers too, so you guys can draw from that as well. Now, there's so much value in this episode. William and I do talk about buying a business, and what a big part of buying a business is doing your due diligence. If you don't know how to do due diligence, take the guesswork out of it and get my due diligence framework. It's free. Go to buyingonlinebusinesses.com/free resources and you can get that due diligence framework along with a lot of other awesome free tools that I use and my clients use to buy online businesses. Let's dive in. Do you want to build or grow your content website? Niche website builders have helped hundreds of people to take their content websites from a few $100s per month to over tens of thousands of dollars per month with crafted content creation, buying aged domains, and link building strategies. These strategies have helped people increase their traffic, authority, monthly earnings, and their website valuation too. Head to nichewebsite.builders/BOB/ to get 10% off any link building or 10% more from their content creation services. That's nichewebsite.builders/Bob/. I'll put a link in the description too. William, welcome to the Bob podcast.
What's up? Yeah, thanks for having me.
So good to have this chat. I'm really excited for it. First and foremost, formal congratulations on buying your first site. How does it feel?
Feels incredible.
Yeah.
Put in a lot of effort and you finally make some progress, and it feels really good.
Yeah, it was getting to a point where you were just doing so much DD and you're like, you just wanted to get in on stuff. I can remember some of those points. But I want to open that up. I want to talk about what work did you do? How much work did you do? How hard was it and all of that sort of stuff? What should people be looking out for if they're first-time buyers? But first and foremost, I want to ask, why bother buying an online business? What drew you to this?
I mean, I love how, if you go work an hourly job, even if you're a lawyer, your income's tied to your hours. But I love the idea of like putting in some effort, and the effort can scale for like how much money you make. So like if we, scale this website well, then I can be not working and look at my AdSense account and there's money just coming in. We've worked, but it's not tied to it's tied to how effective it is, not to how many hours my behind is in a chair.
Yeah, cool. That's really good. Not how many hours your behind is in a chair.
Yeah. And the thing is, once we know something's working, we can just scale it. If we can make something work and it's making $100,000 a year and we take it to 10 million, it's like similar. It's different, but it's something similar. It's not like if my job was to crack rocks every day, I can't crack 10 times as many rocks.
Shh. You're letting some of the secret sauce out here. In terms of scaling. No, I'm joking. No holes barred here. So you wanted to scale your income. You want to be able to scale your income, right? Rather than just
I want the chance
to.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And why? I'm gonna keep doing the why question, because I'm really curious, because people will come to this space and they'll be like, I want to buy a website, or I want an online business, and they go away and try it, and their foundation of why they want something isn't rock solid, or isn't like, I'm going to do this no matter what, like there's nothing getting in my way type attitude, which is what you really kind of need to have. Otherwise, when you got to a point where you're just like, oh, I can't find something and I'm doing too much due diligence, it's easy to just go, this doesn't work, and throw the towel in, right? So
Yeah.
I want to ask why, like, what's the core driver? Was it you wanted to make money online? Was it purely just to be able to have the opportunity to scale? And was it a lifestyle, a future thing that you wanted? Like, what was the main reason that you said to yourself, I'm going to make this work no matter what?
Yeah. I guess there are different levels we could take this. I think one level is like, I love the idea that if I can effectively acquire and manage and grow a website, that means internally I'm becoming a more effective human.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you want to do in life, whatever good you want to see in the world, you can more effectively do it, whether it's using the 80-20 principle or seeing what needs to be done and breaking it down, whatever goes into being effective. Mm-hmm. And the other one was, this can make a lot of money. You can learn internally change to be effective, and there's no reason this can't scale, or the skill set or the character. And then also the business, I feel like, to me, the internal is the most important, because if everything blows up or a war happens, I still have my internal character and work ethic. But yeah, so I want to grow that, and then I want to be internally effective, and then externally pick something where it's really rewarded and it has no reason not to be 100x of where it is now, except your working time.
Yeah, so, cool. So it sounds like,
and I have big projects in the future. I have one or two big things, and those things will take someone who's incredibly effective and someone who has a lot of cash. Yep. So those big projects in the future require that I become effective now and get more cash now and keep going. And then I can execute on much bigger problems.
That's really good mindset to have. I don't think that too many people answer it in that sense, that you have a goal in the future, and to achieve that goal, you need to be a certain type of person, and you're working on yourself to become that certain type of person, and using this as a vehicle and a tool, right? That's great.
Well, I can tell. I mean, I could go make more money. If it was about the money, and especially the short term, I could go do something super tracked, but I could go be a successful corporate lawyer, go to 3 years of school, go be a lawyer, but I don't think it's going to scale. I wouldn't really enjoy it anyway, so that's fine. But then I wouldn't be learning the skills. I majored in accounting and French. If I stuck with accounting, I want to be the doer, not the counter. I want to be have the vision and execute on it, and then have the right talent and people to help move us all to the vision. Cool. And I feel like this, in a micro sense, this is what the website is. I'm not a coder. I don't know HTML. I don't know anything, but you're helping me have a good mindset, a SOP, a standard operating procedure on how to go about things. And then we find the right talent to get us to the vision. So it's cool.
Yeah. When people decide to work with me, they don't want to learn code or HTML, because I couldn't teach that anyway. I'm the same as you. I
mean, you've already unblocked me loads. I've spoken to you about just maybe some other stuff I'm working on as well, creatively. And even all the stuff you and I talk about, and we talk about in the mastermind and in the greater group, and everywhere, and in the materials and the trainings, it's all useful across your whole life. Focusing on what's working, doing less of what's not working. I mean, that right there is the gold.
That's the goose, right? It is.
It's the goose.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you're going to get sick of me saying it, but it's just the reinforcement that even
I'm telling you, I'm 31. Yeah, it unblocks almost any issue. I could get so lost in the weeds, but if I had this rough North Star, a ship on the ocean of go to what's working, don't get bogged down in the weeds of what's not working. Be effective.
Remember when I first started working with you? I remember having our first chat and just laughing. We just lolled so much because you're just a funny human being, and I was like, you have the best energy, and sounds like you're doing a gazillion different things. And I want to take that energy. And if that energy gets pointed in the right direction, freaking look out. So I'm really glad we've.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's channel it. Channel it. Inch deep, or no, what is it? An inch wide, mile deep.
Yes, exactly. So let's talk about the challenges, I guess, that popped up for you. Oh, first and foremost, how long ago did you start on this journey? And then how long did you start researching it and then find me? And then when did you start working with us?
Trying to be an effective human my whole life, being super interested in business or wanting to start a business at least 10 years, struggling with that for all 10 years, becoming interested in this space. I mean, I was at the airport at LAX going to work on something else, and I saw this book about how to make money with no money. And it was really good. And one of the ideas was to buy up like Chrome store apps or something. And like, I started trying to do that, like buy these things and then make them better and then resell them or make money every month. And like, it was super difficult. So the idea was cool, but I was totally bogged down in how do I execute on this? I had no idea of do A, do B. It was a mess. And then you popped up, I think on my YouTube. And I was like, this dude it's the idea, the idea that I find exciting is the scalableness of it, the not based on your hourly earnings of it. And you had the do this. So you had the right place, the scalable place, like the right industry you were interested in. And then you had the way to do it. So I was like, and that was what, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago?
Okay, cool. I think it was a bit longer. It might have been about 3 months. Yeah. Okay. I think it was just around the 3 months, maybe just like 3.5 months, to be honest. But so all right, cool. And then we just rolled up our sleeves and we went to work. Right. What was that like?
I got the trainings and I was going through those, and then I finished those and I was like, man, I need this to happen really fast. We need to get going. And I thought of you as like someone who'd be really great to work with long term. So I was just like, let's just go ahead and like fully work together. It's been awesome.
So you joined the Bob community, right? And then you're like, all right, let's go fast. And you wanted some one-on-one help.
Yeah, because if I didn't have one-on-one help from you, I would just go way slower.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have confidence. And when you don't have confidence, every step you take, you're like, I don't know. And then I'm like, I'd rather have confidence and quick action, and then we get stuff done versus like slow. Because then
I want to put a bit of a bookmark here for everybody listening. A lot of people join if you're thinking about buying a business and you're listening to this right now, and you're like, let's just call up Jaryd or email Jaryd and just do some one-on-one work with me. It doesn't traditionally work like that, does it, William? Like, I'm very selective with who I work with, and it's a very small group. Not to say that I'm not going to work with everyone and a lot of people, but if you're interested in doing the one-on-one work, email me, but I need to pre-qualify you as well. You need to be right for the group. You need to be right for me. We need to be right together, have a good relationship. And you also need to be in a financial position to be able to buy a business that you're going to get the ROI on as well. So you went through the course training, and this is what I suggest most people do is like go through the course training, learn it all. Yeah. And then if you want the extra help, then I'm there. If it's a right fit and there's space. What was the course? Did you like the course training? What was that like? Like, did you have any big ahas or takeaways from that? Or was a lot of it from the one-on-one stuff and working together, I guess?
I mean, I think the course trainings they give me the minimum vocab to interact with you so that it saves us both time. Like if I don't know the words you're using, because I haven't done the simple course trainings, simple but powerful, but the clear and powerful course training, I won't know the words that you're using, and you'll get bogged down. I'll get frustrated. So it's better I think to wade in, learn a lot, and then it's valuable between us.
Cool. So what was the biggest challenge on the journey, do you think?
The biggest challenge is like internal. Everything's internal. Like if I let a negative talk stop me from taking good actions, that's bogs down everything. If I'm like, I forgot I forgot why I'm doing this website thing. I'm going to go goof around with my friends for 3 days. So that's like you're thinking something that's taking you away from the actions that lead to what you really know you want. So that can be getting distracted, being negative, walking away from it. And you have to be like, well, why am I doing this? Why? Let's go back and continue working on this. So I think it's all internal. I could say technical things, but the technical problems or issues or all that can be overcome if your internal is good. But if your internal is not having the energy, then everything will stop you.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, Ozarks is on. I can go watch Netflix. I'd rather look at the Netflix than look at websites.
Yeah, who wouldn't? It's so easy and entertaining to watch Netflix.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, Jaryd's great, but Ozark, I mean,
far more entertaining than me, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think it's just internal. Whatever internally is going on that stops you from doing the good, right things is not good. Like, oh, I don't want to look at this website. I'm gonna go drink a beer with friends instead. And if you do that 50 times, you've just killed your momentum. You don't know who you are because, like, I wanted my identity. I want to be like a business owner as somewhat part of my identity. And if I'm not doing the actions of who I want to be, then you feel terrible with that gap.
Yeah, for sure. And there's also this other thing, this complex thing that happens with us as wanting to be entrepreneurs and wanting to get a result, and we'll do anything we can to get that, is like you've got that you spoke about, is like you can do everything compounds over time, right? The more times you go away and watch Netflix, that compounds into a thing that it's like easier and easier and easier to watch Netflix, and it's harder and harder and harder to do the other thing. But when you've got so much good energy like yourself and you want a result so bad and you want to better yourself and you want to do multiple different things, is what I noticed is, and this happens to myself and so many other people, is that we'll do the work on the buying a website bit, and then you'll go, all right, what else can I do? What else can I stack on top and do on the side? Yeah. And that's the worst thing that we can do. Not the worst thing. It's probably the second worst thing that we could do after going away and, alcohol and all that sort of stuff. But it's still a bad thing to go away and work on something else, because we derail our focus and then it takes us away from the result that we want. And then also, I've talked about this with you and a couple of other guys, is that energy that we expend on these other things, when we come back to the core important thing of buying a site, if that's our real goal and our main focus, we don't have the good energy to put into that. So we do it in a sloppy way and we're tired. Yeah. So I remember talking to you and going, like, I remember saying, do this work and then turn the internet off and leave the house. You said you were going to leave the house.
Yeah.
So you couldn't.
That was the best advice.
Yeah.
You said something else smart that, like, I more appreciate now. It'll take a lifetime, but I more appreciate is, like, you were like, in my mind, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to do 10 due diligences a day. And if we don't meet that, then you're not having any fun with anybody. And like what you do is you set up this really hard thing, you don't meet it, and then you don't see people, or you don't do the healthy things you should in your life. And then you have this downward spiral. And it's crazy because if you read any book, like I read Atomic Habits, we talked about this, like one of the important things to do if you want this action to be repeated, if I wanted a dog to find something, I would give him a treat after he found it. But if I'm like, I'm going to do 10 due diligences, that's like a bunch of that's like the opposite of treats. That's like hitting the dog a bunch, and then the dog doesn't even meet the goal, and then you don't let the dog sleep or have a toy. And it's
so terrible. We do it to ourselves. Like,
that's a certain part of the population, me, and I assume a lot of other people, I don't know.
Yeah.
Will do that. And it's counterproductive. Instead, you were like, do one due diligence a day and then go have fun.
Yeah. And think about it, if you do one due diligence a day and you're sending me 5 a week, that's ridiculous. That's a lot, right? Like, that's still so much.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is spend however long it takes you to do that due diligence. At the start, it takes a long time, right? Like, let's be real. How long do you reckon it took you to do your first due diligence?
2 days? My first one? I mean, I probably did it for like 2 hours, walked away, and then the next day came back to it for like another hour.
So sometimes people will take 3 days, and that's okay. It's brand new. People are like, oh, this is way too hard. But how long did it take you to do due diligence after, like, say, a month or two?
Yeah, after a month or two of doing due diligences, you not only do the due diligence itself way faster, but you'll have because you've done so many due diligences, you'll be able to look through 20 websites and know not to do due diligence on 19 of those.
Yeah.
And then quickly do that 20th website's due diligence in like under 2 hours. I go slow because I'm like, I'm just going to get it done. I do it in like 2 hours. I've seen you do it in like 30 minutes, an hour. I don't know. I take like 2 hours, but I like.
It is good. It is good, and you know the important things to look at, and eventually you knew like eventually you're getting close to be like, I know how to do this. Like you knew a good business without me needing to look at it, right? Which is so
Yeah.
and that's the most important thing is like teaching you to fish rather than just going, here's the website.
Yeah. And I mean, it was cool because we did the same thing every time together, the same due diligence framework. Like I would make sure like, okay, what did Jaryd say about the last website? Okay, I will now look at those in the new website. So like I was able to like absorb your thinking, and that way I wouldn't waste your time. And that's another great incentive. Like when I worked with you, I was like, I don't want to waste Jaryd's time. He's a guy. He's trying to go surf and like grow his business. So
Thanks.
That's a good element too. It's like having a coach. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and also, those sessions that you're paying for is you don't want to just bring things to the sessions like, is this something that I really need to work on, or what's the most priority thing that I should be working on, type thing. Yeah. So you mentioned AdSense before. I want to ask you, what type of business did you buy? Like, tell us about the business in itself. What sort of business do you buy? And then, go through anything that you're open to sharing about it.
Yeah. I bought a content website. So the ad has articles on recipes for people to make at home, food recipes. And then traffic comes to the website and I have ads like Google AdSense, and I make money by those ads.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it just ads on the site? And what did you like about this site versus other ones?
Is the revenue just ads? Is that what you're asking? Or okay, yeah, the revenue is overwhelmingly ads. It's like 96% from ads and like 4%, maybe a few Amazon affiliates or something.
Cool. And
so yeah.
Tell me about why you like this website over some of the other ones. This will be very valuable for listeners.
Yeah, why did I like it?
Or why did you exclude so many other sites along your journey?
Oh yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't first at like a high level, it wasn't trash. Like you read through when you click on the website, you need to read through it. And if it's like, really poor content, really low value, or if it's generic or copied, and if there's no traffic, I think that's another, if there's not a lot of traffic, it's not cool. Oh, we want to see like upward trends. I like that about this website. It had it had a nice positive trend. And because I don't want to fix something that has a negative trend and has problems. I don't want to have to fight against the river. I'd rather have something that's working better and better, and then we just make it work better.
I like the way you put that. Don't want to have to fight against the river. That's really good. Yeah. Cool.
And I think the price, like I feel like, I mean, a lot of it is like how much traffic or revenue can I get for how many, for $1. And so I feel like this one was a good value to price ratio. I feel like I was getting a good deal. Yeah.
Excellent. What do you think was, say, your favorite part of the journey? Or what was like, I mean, we've talked about so many things that you've learned, but what was one of your favorite things, I guess?
I think it's just satisfying. Like, it's satisfying like having a goal and then working on it. It's really, really difficult at first, but you stick with it. And then you find yourself getting better and getting better results. Like I'll tell you specifically, the time when I sent you like a good website, because I would send you some like trash websites and you're like, you don't want these websites for these reasons. And then I was like, okay. But then when I finally sent you something and you're like, this thing's pretty good. Like I felt good because I felt like I was learning and growing in my ability to like recognize a good website. So like that's satisfying.
Yeah, that's really cool. Is now what, there's this whole bank of information that you've got in your head now of you looking at bad websites and looking at good websites, and all of the bad websites that you looked at, it's not a waste of time. It's really actually valuable because you're looking at that and saying, this is what I don't want my website to have or be, and you know how you can avoid that now. which is so valuable. But also the other thing is that when you look at the good side, he's like, oh, what are these websites doing that makes them so good? And when you ask somebody, and this, like your site, the traffic's trending up, you just go, why is the traffic trending up? What did you do? They'll tell you exactly what you need to do to continue growing it.
Yeah.
Which is just, there's so much value in the whole process of looking at those sites. And I think a lot of people feel like, yes, it's work. It is work, but it's an education at the same time. What do you what was your mindset around that?
Man, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, you just have to do a wood carver has to carve 100 doors before he knows how to carve a really good door. Like, everything will take volume to get really good. There's no way you won't know how to look at a website and know it unless you've looked at like hundreds or many websites. I don't know another way to.
It's spot on. It's
you got to do something a lot.
Repetition. So congrats on buying a site. What next? Like, what's the next step for William?
I would love to, if we're talking about the website, it's to grow it. And I think you and I will get into the specific goals, but it's just to scale it. So that was the whole reason we like the website model or business or whatever, because it's scalable. So now we want to scale it. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier. Like, if you always flick between 50 different things, really another way of saying it is like you never maximize anything that you have. So you're always trying to grab, but you're never maximizing what you already have. So now I want you and I to maximize what we have.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And off the top of your head, and maybe something we've talked about before with this site, but what are some of the things that you envision doing to growing this site? What do you think is going to help grow it?
I think really great content. So and I'm going through your growing your business trainings, and I'm like, right, great content. That's a good idea. So I think the danger is you'll get stuck in the weeds. You're like, I'm going to work on this 10th most important thing. I'm going to optimize before I have the reason for people to come. Like, it's like trying to build the dam before the river's big enough. Like, why would you have a huge dam on this little creek? You need to first make the creek be huge and then try to capture more of that energy. But if there's nothing to capture, then you're just losing money and wasting time.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I wanted to ask you, if somebody, one of your friends said to you, William, say they've just like listen to this podcast and they're like, William, let's do it. I got to buy a website. Like, what advice would you give them if they were going to go through the same journey that you've just gone through? What would be some education that you'd give them, or wisdom that you'd give them to look out for or be ready for?
Yeah. This is already happening.
Oh, really?
Like adult friends. Oh, actually, I mean, I don't know why I said adult friends. Like,
you're an adult, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm an adult. I don't know why I said it like that. Like, yeah, obviously, So 1, 2, 3 people have literally asked me what you've asked and like are asking about this, like actively interested in it because they see the power of it. They're like, oh, I can have my own business. I don't have to start my own business, which is this whole risky, huge black hole, or I can go ahead and get this business and then keep maximizing. Your question was, what do I tell them?
What advice would you give them, or what advice are you already giving them?
Yeah. I think why is this going well, and why have these 50 other things that I've done in my life not going well? And I think on one level, it's having. I'm not trying to plug you too much, but literally having one person explain what needs to happen and teaching you is huge. Like, if I was trying to learn tennis, I can go read 50 tennis books, but if I have a tennis coach, there's like you intuitively know you would do better with. My roommate's a tennis coach. He's like, what you did is you found a tennis coach. You just found it for business instead. And I'm like, yeah, that's the difference for me.
Yeah.
And then from that will come 1,000 other learnings and techniques and ideas. But I feel like if I had to pick one thing to tell someone, it would be find someone who's really excellent at doing that thing already and learn from them, whether it's in a religious setting, a business setting, a sports setting. Like, just go to the best and learn from them, and they'll tell you what's up very quickly.
I love it.
And swat away distractions.
I love it. Yeah, because it's not about me. It's just finding somebody that's done what you need to do and has done it for themselves and so many other people. I've been surfing for like 20 years, probably longer, maybe 25. I don't know. I've been surfing for a long time, more than 2 decades. And last year, I met a guy in the surf who was a surf coach. He was on the world tour. He's taught some pros that are still on the world tour. And a lot of people had done some surf training with him. And I thought, I'll give this, I got invited to go to his place and learn some stuff. And I was like, let's give it a go. And last year, my surfing has improved much more than my 20 years of surfing just in 1 year, because it's just like when I got there, he's like, this is all wrong, dude. You don't do this, and this is what you do. I'm like, okay. And now I'm in the surf, and I'm so grateful that I've worked on it. Like, I've had some foundations beforehand, but I'm so grateful that like I'm starting to get more and more compliments on my surfing and my ability and my turns and stuff like that, and being recognized as a better surfer. And that's what's happening for you as well, right? People are recognizing like, oh, wow, William's a smart dude. He's buying a business and he's making money. And how many hours per week do you need to spend on your business for it to make money without growing it?
I mean, it's my first week, but I feel like, for now it's going to be some work. But like, long term, there's no, 2 hours a week.
To maintain it. Yeah.
Long term.
Cool.
To maintain it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. How does it feel? How does it feel? Are you excited for the future?
I'm so stoked. Like, I really am super excited because like, it's actually something that's working like in business in my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I looked at my AdSense earlier and I'm like, I just made money. And I wasn't working. I was eating a sandwich. Like,
that might be the title of this podcast. How to make money whilst eating a sandwich.
Yeah. It's very, very, very cool. Yeah. No, it feels awesome. Like, I appreciate it. And then now I'm like motivated to, I want to just grow it a ton. That's the goal now.
Which we will do. We'll do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience. It's been so valuable for the listeners. I know that much. For everybody that is listening, thank you for listening. If you are about to buy a website, re-listen to this because there may be things that you missed out on the first listen. So you don't need to listen to it right away, but even if you listen to it in 2 or 3 days' time or a week's time, it'll be very, very valuable. And also share this podcast episode with somebody that you know that may be new to this subject and may actually want to buy an online business themselves as well. Thanks again, William, and thanks everybody for listening. Bye. Hey, YouTube watcher, if you thought that video was good, you should check out this video here on the 2 best types of websites beginners should buy. Or check out my playlist on how I made my first 100K from buying websites and how to do due diligence. Check it out. It's an awesome playlist. You'll enjoy it.